get some volume here so I can hear my thoughts. Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Yeah, man, that's the morning yawn. Yeah, man.
Like, do you ever wake up like that? Like, I do all the time.
Oh, man.
There's a big, deep stretch. We gotta do it again. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Today is Tuesday. Miss Tony is still out with the heebie-jeebies. We spoke to her this morning. She sounds like trash, but she did say that she's going to try to make it in tomorrow. As long as it's not contagious, we're fine with that. But, you know, if it is, she's got to stay home.
Take your time. Definitely, a lot of people are getting sick right now.
Oh, yeah. A lot of people are sick. Man, oh, man, oh, man. And how are you doing today, Rockstone Triz? A quick check-in.
I'm good. I'm taking it easy, man.
Okay, you're taking it easy.
I was here. I'm about to do some work today. I have a couple of ideas, so I'm about to execute.
Okay. Execution. You know what I find about a lot of creatives is that creatives are more so visionary than executors because the brain just doesn't.
Well, I can visualize. And then I exercise.
What? I vision it and then I put it together.
And I try to put it together as long as it makes sense.
Yeah, as long as it makes sense. Make it make sense and we're good to go. In the comment section, let us know how you guys are feeling. How is the weather treating you guys these days? Are you bearing the cold? Like every year that I'm a human being living in Massachusetts, I'm completely surprised about how cold it can get here. I can't get used to it. I went to school in Michigan. You know, I've seen snow. I've seen it with my own eyes. I've seen cold and I've seen snow. And even when I was there, people were like, yeah, but you're from Massachusetts. Ain't this? I don't care where I'm from and how long I've been there. Cold does not feel normal.
But I feel like this cold is different.
Like freezing?
I feel like it's getting colder.
Yeah. I mean, yesterday when it was 0 and -1, I was like, that just sounds stupid. That just sounds dumb. That's not even real.
Today I think we're like 25 degrees higher. So we should be high.
I think let's actually just start the show. Then I'll run down the weather and what it's gonna look like for the rest of the week. And then after that, you know, we'll go from there, see what's going on. All right. Saucy and Friends starts right now.
You're listening to Saucy and Friends in the morning with Miss Hot Sauce, Miss Tony, and Rockstone Triz. You're listening to Spark FM online.
Gonna creep all dry. You know that. Yeah. All right. Today is Tuesday, December the 16th. It is 9:32 a.m. The weather today is cold as hell again, but it's a little warmer than it was yesterday. Currently it's 27 degrees, but it feels like 33.
I've not been much better than yesterday.
But why it feel like 33 and it's only 22? How you know that it feel 33 to me? It feel 27 to me. Today we'll reach a high of 35, a low of 20. Cloudy conditions expected around 4 p.m. The highest feels like temperature will be 37 around 11 a.m. For the rest of the week, it's summertime. Tomorrow's going to be 44. Thursday's going to be 45. And Friday is going to be 60 to damn degrees.
Wow, there we go. That sounds.
That's how we die.
That sounds more
Tristan, that's how people die. It's going to be raining and 60 degrees.
Some people going to have to die.
That's crazy. It's right now 20 degrees. And on Friday, it's going to be 60 degrees.
Climate change is real, people.
That doesn't make any sense at all. That is absolutely
Y'all
wild.
President don't believe it's real, though.
Wild work, huh?
Y'all president, Jill, baby Jill.
What the hell does he believe is real besides evil and
oil
and foolishness? Oh my God, what a terrible person. We'll get to his condolences for people who have died later on in the show, but you know, I just want to say, if people spoke as negatively as this president has spoken about, you know, the deaths that have happened in the past couple days, the way that they talked about Charlie Kirk, we would all be in jail. You know that,
What
right?
did you say about
The directors?
Yeah, he said I don't like him.
I didn't like him. He had Trump derangement syndrome, like everything but thoughts and prayers.
This is the gentleman that was killed. What's his name?
The
again?
director, yes.
It's in the news.
Bob Rayner, Rob
Rob
Rayner,
Rayner,
yeah, and his wife. Did you hear the details around that? We'll get into that later as well. Don't forget, people, Black Nativity is playing at the the Paramount in downtown until December 21st. If you would like to go and you don't know how to get there, please let me know that, and I will make sure that I point you in the right direction. Might even have something up my sleeves for you.
It's the 12 days of Christmas, so we might have to give away some tickets.
Okay, oh Lord. Today is Super Tuesdays with Carlos Enrique, so he'll be calling a little bit later on today to talk politics, talk the ballot questions, and talk what's been going on in the state level and everything like that, including the protest that happened yesterday outside of Suffolk County in protest of the young man who passed away at the hands of correctional officers. And don't forget, Brunch and Burners has been rescheduled to late January. We'll put out the official date soon, but tell a friend to tell a friend that we're just pushing it back so you guys can make sure that you have a wonderful and amazing holiday season. Let's get into the roundaway news then. Let's see what we got here.
Poor you. You sound like you're getting under the weather too, boy.
I don't want to get under the weather. I don't have time.
You know what
to
you need
be
to
under
sleep
the
with? You need to go to sleep with a vaporizer.
A humidifier.
A humidifier. You know, vaporizer. The vaporizer, the one that you put the Vicks in, yeah. You need to go to sleep in one of them things.
You know what? That's very right. And I am. Tonight, I have one in my room. Why don't I put it on, you ask?
Yeah.
I don't know, Tristan.
better off.
I don't know the answer to that. So let's get into it. Boston considers eliminating parking requirements. What does that mean? A parking requirement.
All the streets are getting what do you call it?
Residential parking and foolishness?
Yeah. So you guys got to register.
So the Boston City Council held a meeting to discuss eliminating minimum parking requirements in an effort to more closely align development with modern parking needs and reduce the cost of building new housing. As Christian Milne explains in Street Blog Mass, Boston's outdated parking rules means the city approves thousands of largely unneeded new parking spots every year. Frequently, the number of new parking spaces exceeds the number of new apartments and homes that developers build within the city limits. An imbalance of investment in real estate that exacerbates the city's housing shortage and congestion problems. So because we got too much parking, you can't build no more houses? I think we have a congestion problem because we keep building more houses. According to McNeil, in 2023 alone, Boston's planning agency approved 69 large development proposals that would build enough parking to store up to 8,053 more cars into the city, enough to fill all 8 lanes of the Southeast Expressway with bumper-to-bumper traffic from the Deposit River to downtown Boston. An article in Boston Business Journal notes that the city reduced parking requirements for affordable housing in 2021. At Tuesday's meeting, the council heard public testimony on the issue, though a vote is still imminent. What does that even... So what I gather from this is that Boston allows people to have more real estate for parking, and it's eliminating spaces that they could be used to develop more housing. That's what I got from that. If somebody else got something different, let me know, because that's just a little something there to kick off the news. Keeping it moving. Hearing on Haitian TPS in Boston postponed indefinitely. So this was Trump trying to eliminate all of the citizenship for those who are asylum, I think it was. Court hearing scheduled for Tuesday to determine fate of more than 520,000 Haitians postponed indefinitely amid legal confusion. The hearing on temporary protection status, TPS, for Haitians scheduled in Boston this Tuesday will no longer take place on Tuesday, December 16th. So it was supposed to be scheduled for today. is no longer going to be taking place. Tristan has the clip right here.
Residents who were ready to take their citizenship oaths at Boston's Faneuil Hall were told they could not proceed because of where they're from.
NBC 10's immigration reporter Oscar Margain is on it. He's live from Faneuil Hall in Boston. Oscar, people prepare years for citizenship. To have the rug pulled out at the last moment, that's got to be a gut punch.
Yeah, Glenn, it's supposed to be a special day for those who become citizens, and yet for some, it's become a moment of uncertainty. People are finding out through a rolling basis, these notices going out. However, there are some who are not finding out until they actually show up to the door of their citizenship ceremony.
That's diabolical.
It's supposed to be a day to celebrate one of the greatest milestones in an immigrant's life in America.
This is a very special moment for me.
The naturalization ceremony, the final step to becoming a U.S. citizen.
I'm really happy to be here.
Boston's Faneuil Hall, also known as the Cradle of Liberty, hosted a ceremony Thursday where dozens of people were excluded.
To be literally turned away at the door is despicable.
One of them was Gail Breslow's clients at Project Citizenship, a Haitian woman who has lived in the U.S. for more than 20 years.
She's devastated, and she's also anxious, as is any of our clients who've been affected in this way.
For the past week, U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services has been issuing notices like this to applicants, saying their cases need to be reevaluated. Most of those getting the notices are from 19 countries included in the current travel ban.
En esos momentos fue algo devastador.
It was devastating news for Moses of Connecticut, who left Cuba 17 years ago. He's approaching retirement and has a pending heart surgery. I just want the government to consider all the people who have come to do good for this country, says Moses, which helps make the country better, and not to continue with this approach. The process to become a citizen takes about 3 to 5 years. It requires an application, an interview, and a test, plus hundreds of dollars in fees.
This is one more example of the cruelty of this federal administration.
Boston Mayor Michelle Wu knows the process well, helping both her parents become citizens.
It takes a lot of effort and preparation, and so I know how much these families must have put in and how excited they must have been at that moment.
Yeah, man. Devil.
That is, you people in the line about to receive their citizenship paper and their little piece of flag that they can wave when they leave, and they're like, error, 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 you can't do it. What? How you mean? Y'all better give me my little flag, my little American flag, so I can
voted
represent.
for Donald Trump.
Yep. Hello.
He said nah.
Hello. Hello. And that be the problem right there. I don't know why he hates Haitians so much. It's so weird to me. It's a crazy obsession with Haitians and
He doesn't like
Somalians.
dark-skinned people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right.
Mhm.
You're right. You are very, very right. 2 seaport restaurants to close and lay off 84 employees. Which ones are those? 2 restaurants in the seaport is closing in 2026, and as a result, dozens of employees are being laid off, according to Warren filing posted last week. Boston Business Journal first reported that Worker Adjustments and Retraining Notification Act filing would require companies with at least 50 employees to give 60 days notice before a mass layoff. Rebel Restaurants Inc., which owns Tony C's and T Mascal in the Seaport, will close January 31st and lay off 84 managers and workers, according to the. I like T Mascal.
Tequila place, yeah.
Yeah. T Mascal, a Mexican restaurant tequila bar, opened in the Seaport in 2011 and has had multiple locations in Greater Boston. Sports bar Tony C's, named after a Red Sox outfielder, took
C's,
over. I went to a Tony C's in Assembly. They have that
It's
Assembly,
huge.
right? Yeah, it's huge.
Number TVs.
Nothing TVs and bars and little tables that smell like dishcloth. A representative for the restaurants told Boston.com that the closures were due to their lease not being renewed. Lincoln Property Company owns the spaces along Northern Avenue. Caitlin Umholtz covers food and restaurants for Boston.com. That's the owner, the writer of this thing. Oh no! And Tony C's. I mean, we're not really missing anything from Tony C's because there's so many of them around. But I thought, actually, I don't like. There's another T Mascal in Dedham. What's that place called? Legacy Place. There's another one over there, I believe it is. I went there one time on on a Mother's Day. That's why I got taken out to a Mother's Day.
So they're both in the same building. I'm guessing that the owner.
Yeah, he just didn't release the
sell that building.
Probably make some housing over there in the seaport. Get more money. Charge people $5,000 for a 1-bedroom. I mean, if you got it, it ain't tricking if you got it. So do what you got to do. Councilor Mejia presses woo on White Stadium budget and school revamp. Okay, Councilor Mejia, press them on. Let's see what they got to say. So, City Councilor at Large Julia Mejia, backed by 2 colleagues and an assortment of constituents, is urging Mayor Wu to release a new cost estimate for the city's share of expenses for the White Stadium project, which numbers she and other critics say have ballooned far beyond initial expectations laid out by the mayor. Mejia, also, who is taking issue with a recently announced Boston Public School consolidation plan that would close or reduce grades in several schools, including 3 in Dorchester. During a press conference stage outside the Council Ianella's chamber last Wednesday morning, Mejia is noting that the Wu administration has not answered her questions for an updated cost estimate for the stadium project. Our legislative cycle ends today, and we're closing our legislative work without knowing the final number. Adding that it was not a good way to end the year. The stadium project remains a source of controversy despite court rulings that have favored the Wu position and allowed for the construction to proceed. The initial estimate for the rebuild was $50 million from the city, with Boston Unity Sports Partners picking up an additional $50 million. The city's share later ticked up to an estimated $91 million. With demolition completed, the construction site has largely been quiet through the fall since there has been little to new information posted on the project website managed by city officials. Last week, in a response to an inquiry from the reporter, a city spokesperson said as of December 9th, the city's project expenditures include $12 million of demolition and construction. An additional $76 million in subcontracts have been awarded. After more than 40 years of failed starts, the White Stadium is being built as a state-of-the-art facility for BPS student athletes and the community open year-round. We are excited to be underway. A number of vocal stadium critics were part of the Mejia-led press conference, including Kate Phillips, a resident of Roxbury and a member of the Franklin Park Defenders, who was critical of both the mayor and the city council. Every time I breathe in, it's like I'm dying. We're all dealing with seemingly tone-deaf administration and increasingly a city council, she said, except for these 3 councilors, a reference to Mejia and 2 other colleagues. Councilors Ed Flynn and Erin Murphy, who spoke at the press conference that has decided to turn its back on the needs of the people who live, work, and educated in the city of Boston. What's clear to me is the lack of transparency is a reason why the mayor has been allowed to get along as much as she has, particularly with the White Stadium debacle. This is so interesting to me. I wonder, like, is it just the money? It's obviously people are concerned about the traffic.
So this is what AI says. AI says, as of mid-December 2025, the city of Boston officials share the White Stadium renovation project is estimated at $91 million, a significant increase from the original $50 million placeholder. However, the city officials have recently acknowledged that the final taxpayer burden will likely exceed this figure due to rising labor and material costs. Latest spending and budget figures of December 2025. It says that official estimated $91 million, the current expenditure $12 million, committed funds $76 million, and then the contested projections. Critics and political rivals citing internal worst case scenario documents have claimed that the city's share could reach up to $170 million.
$170 million. Golly. Because when did they say that we were supposed to hear the final number? I thought it was early next year. I don't know. Remember they had asked earlier and they were like, they can't know until something else happens. I forget what that was.
When are they going to be back in the building?
They're quarterly, I believe. I'll check the calendar and see because, you know, it's what they could be here and tell us what they want to hear. I wish I could get them and Mayor Wu in together.
And Legacy.
And Legacy and Mayor Wu in together.
And politicians them.
Yeah, because I want them to. I want the three people, the city, the Legacy partners, and then the community to have an actual conversation, because I don't see why everybody's so confused about what is happening. When they tell me what's going on, I don't be confused.
I'm confused because I'm like, is she paying it?
I guess it's coming from taxpayer money. But $100 million, I don't feel like it's a lot of money to put towards a state-of-the-art stadium.
So far that's committed.
Okay.
Funds.
So we just need a little couple of more. I don't know budgets, and I don't do the budget, so I can't tell y'all what to feel about the city budgets. But I don't know. When we speak to Carlos Enriquez later, we'll check in with his thoughts on this subject. And we'll continue to talk. Don't forget, if you want to call in or if you have any other information, 617-272-3387. Call us up and tell us how you feel. Protesters call for transparency following an in-custody death of Shakobi Kenny. So this happened yesterday, Monday. They protested outside of the jails. More than 40 people gathered Monday in the cold outside Suffolk County House of Corrections to call for a full investigation into the recent death of a man waiting trial and the closure of 8 buildings jail on Bradsden Street. The group, organized by the Massachusetts Bail Fund, is seeking more information on the death of Shakobi Kenny, a 32-year-old incarcerated man who died last week. The Suffolk County District Attorney's Office said Kenny died at a local hospital after becoming unresponsive at the South Bay House of Correction. The DA's office said it is investigating the death along with the Boston Police Department. The Suffolk County Sheriff's Office did not respond to requests for commitment from GBH News. A representative had earlier told Boston.com that it also was investigating the death. Officials claimed Kenny assaulted officers and was acting erratically, but prisoners and their advocates are questioning the official report. What's this? Is this an actual video or is just
I'm just showing
the Suffolk County Sheriff's Office did not respond to requests for commitment. Did I just read that? Yes, the Suffolk County Sheriff's Office did not respond to requests for commitment for comment from GBH News. At the event, protesters chanted, "Release the footage." One spoke about a family member who had died at the facility. Another spoke of concerns about loved ones in there. Jasmine Borges, director of organizing for the Massachusetts Fund, took over the microphone for 7 minutes and reflect a minute of silence for each life the group says has been lost in custody since 2021. "We are here to demand that South Bay should be shut down and there be justice for the families, and that everyone in South Bay and Nashua Street Jail be released into the community." What? What'd she say? She said, "We are here to demand that South Bay should be shut down, that there be justice for the families, and that everyone in South Bay and Nashua Street Jail will be released into the community." That doesn't... What? Ain't there prisoners in the jails?
Maybe she misspoke.
She want everybody to just be released, so nobody... What? My cousin Jose can do it for $3 million. I don't understand. Kenny's death was reignited a shut down South Bay movement launched after the 2021 death of Aisha Johnson, who also died at the facility. Last year, Reginald White of Dorchester filed a wrongful death claim against the Suffolk County House of Corrections and others for the responsibility in Johnson's death. Johnson was one of 5 deaths reported in the span of 6 months at the facility that year. Sheriff Stephen W. Tompkins also is facing his own federal charges for being ridiculous on extortion involving the purchase of an equity interest in a Boston-based cannabis company. He has pleaded not guilty but agrees to take a leave from his position while the case is pending. I don't know if that's a realistic demand to shut the jail down and to release all the prisoners. I feel like it takes away from the message when we get crazy, you know, like there should be, I think the demands of demanding a independent medical exam, of making sure that correctional officers, body cam footage, and any footage in the jail is released so that they can do a good whatever. And then since there clearly are bad behaving correctional officers in there and maybe unsanitary situations, there should be maybe an overhaul of the jail, but I wouldn't say completely shut it down
of law enforcement culture, period.
Yeah. So this one that we're talking about is the one that's on the highway. So like if you get on Mass Ave, you can wave to the people. That jail seems so nice from the outside.
The jail seems nice from the outside.
One former detainee who requested anonymity. How you say that word? Anonymity for fear of retribution told GBH News on Saturday that he saw some 15 to 20 officers beating Kenny after handcuffing him. He said Kenny was left for 30 minutes to an hour before anyone attempted to perform CPR, and he believed he was dead before leaving the jail.
Have you heard the phone call?
No.
There's a phone call that's going viral on Facebook right now, the audio recording of him talking.
Really?
Yeah.
His eyes rolled over and he dead and they was still hitting him, he told GBH on the phone. It was bad. They didn't have to do him like that. Kenny's death was prompted calls for more information from lawmakers and prisoner advocates. State Rep Christopher Worrell, a Democrat from Dorchester, sent a statement seeking transparency. I am once again calling on the Suffolk County Sheriff's Department to make available to the public all details of this investigation so justice is served. Dave Rennie, Executive Director of Prisoners Legal Services, said his nonprofit started investigating after hearing reports from inside the facility. Staff misconduct may have contributed to his death. We are investigating this incident as a matter of staff brutality. He told GBH News in a written statement, incarceration must not be a death sentence. And I agree with that. I don't agree with letting them all go, but I do agree with that.
The police here, I don't know what the conversation was about, but the inmate slapped him in the face. And so then the policeman started chasing him around the unit, and he couldn't catch him. He was zigzagging. So then two other police officers joined, and the three tackled him. But they couldn't hold him back either. So there was like three of them he was breaking free from. So four more jumped on him, and they just fucking beat him to death right in front of me, right in front of my cell.
Wow.
I saw the whole fucking thing. Just fucking strangled him to death.
Wow. That's crazy. I'm afraid for that man who was on the voicemail too. Y'all better protect that man in there. Make sure y'all checking on him and stuff. Maybe nothing's gonna happen right now while all eyes are on him, but this is crazy. That's crazy. They just strangled and beat the man down. And I am inclined to believe the prisoners because that was the first thing that we started covering the story on was the actual one of his jail mates account of what happened. And he even said it has happened to him as well. He was just able to survive the situation. So I'm that is terrible. That is absolutely horrible. And I'm sorry to that man. Massachusetts celebrates record-breaking AP exam performance among public high school students. Let's go, Massachusetts. That's what I'm talking about. There's some good news. The Healy-Driscoll administration recently announced that Massachusetts public school students are breaking records in advanced placement exam performance with a notable 55% increase in students scoring 3 or above since 2021. As per data from the College Board, in a move lauded for its impact on educational accessibility, the state has expanded its free waivers allowing a 26% surge in AP test takers nationwide between 2021 and 2025. This initiative comes hand in hand with Massachusetts funding nearly 91,000 AP exams for about 50,000 low-income students, significantly increasing the financial burden of nearly 100 costs per exam. Reported first by the official Massachusetts government website, the numbers speak to the state's commitment to enhance college readiness. Okay, Massachusetts. It's probably documented all from 2 schools. Because I don't know if they did all, probably Wellesley and Waynham. And where'd you go, Marlboro? ridiculous. This is a very long article on the children and their school process, but that is very good for them. Really happy for Massachusetts. We need to keep doing good. And Councilor Worrell is back in the news. He presses campaign for city council presidency. Okay, so it seems like he's getting a little vocal as well when it comes to the Boston City Council president race. We already know that Julia Mejia kicked that transparency pledge open. City Councilor Brian Worrell said Monday that he's pressing forward with his candidacy for the council presidency next month, despite the fact that one of his colleagues has already declared victory in the contest, which I don't feel like she should have declared victory yet. I'm still a little perturbed by that. On November 10th, Councilor Gabrielle Coletta Zapata of East Boston announced that she had secured enough support among colleagues on the 13-member body to succeed current president at charge, Councilor Ruth Z. Louisiane, who cannot stay on as president due to term limits. The next president needs at least 7 votes to secure the gavel. The vote will take place on the day that the councilors and Mayor Wu are sworn into office on Monday, January 5th. I am definitely in the race, and the vote is not until January 5th, said Worrell, who represents parts of Dorchester and Mattapan in District 4. I am under the impression whether in real estate or getting something across the finish line in City Hall, it's never done until it's pressed, sealed, or closed. You can't count anything out early. And again, that's what I think too. Even if Gabriella had secured all the votes, I think that shouldn't have been announced until at least December, until maybe this week or something like that. I don't know why she did it the day, like a couple of hours after an election day. Yeah. Nobody voted you in. There was no vote taken. People said they would vote for you, but I don't know if that should have been made public as of yet. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we come back. We'll be speaking to Carlos Henriquez. We'll get into a little politics, and then we'll go from there.
You're listening to Saucy and Friends in the morning with Miss Hot Sauce, Miss Tony, and Rockstone Triz.
It's the 12 Days of Christmas on Spark FM. Listen for the jingle. Happy Holidays from Spark FM. #1 for urban and Caribbean music. You can be the lucky winner of the day.
Did I win? Oh my God!
By calling 617-272-3387 for your next chance to win.
Are you serious?
Each and every Saturday night from 6 to 9 p.m. inside the Avenue, where you bring the drinks and we bring the vibes. My name is Gary Banton alongside my co-host Big Trini, right here in SparkFMOnline.com, the #1 place for soca, hip-hop, R&B, and more. Each and every Saturdays from 6 to 9 p.m. It's the Avenue.
At Rockland Trust Bank, we know that listening matters, not just to your financial goals, but taking the time to really get to know you. Whether you're building a family or a business, investing in a new home or a college tuition, planning your finances for the next 30 days or the next 30 years, our experienced bankers will listen, not just to provide advice and resources, but to foster a relationship that truly matters. Rockland Trust Bank, where each relationship matters. Member FDIC.
Advertise your business, brand, or music on Spark FM. Contact us at sparkfmonline.com for more information. Boston's new home for urban Caribbean music. Spark FM. Spark FM. Playing all your favorite hits from reggae. Spark FM.
If you no mess with we, you are gonna see a million. We got the Congo long just like the Amazon.
Spark FM.
I know that life is not easy. No say we are for win. Walk with the camera like Jesus.
Soca. Hip hop.
Yeah, we on and we going crazy.
R&B.
You could do damage. You could do damage.
Afrobeats and much more. Spark FM. Spark FM.
I see booty. I said booty. I said booty. Good morning, and we're back. Spark FM Online, #1 for urban and Caribbean music. Right now, we're gonna get Carlos Henriquez on the line with us, and we'll go over some ballot questions that whole city council president situation, and many more things. Yes. We are calling you now. Answer the telephone. I don't know why he ain't hearing it.
Let me see.
All right, we got to call him back. Bump, 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 bubba-dum.
Unless he got a different number.
Do he got a different number? There he go. No, that's not it. What's the number to go? Sorry, guys.
We're gonna figure that out.
Yeah, we're gonna figure that out. 870. This one. Is that a 617 number? As we wait to get him back on the phone, some of the things that we'll be discussing today is the ballot questions that are coming up. Well, they're not going to be. When is the primaries? That's usually in where? I don't know when that is. I know that the final one is in November. So when is the actual? Yeah. Did he pick up yet? Oh, you picked it back in.
I thought you were gonna ask AI. You asked.
Oh, sorry. Ask AI. When
what's the area code?
617 primaries? Let's see, for 2026. Huh? Okay, for
Pass it to me again a lot.
2026. Oh shit! Sorry. Everybody's start poops. September 1st. September 1st is the primaries. That's when they were. That's when we will know when we can do our votes, our first vote. And here we go. Give me a second. You guys like my stalling techniques? Come on, black man.
Where you at, Los?
He just asked me if we was calling him.
Nah, but I'll call it.
All right, so I think so. I don't know who puts numbers in phones anymore without putting the area code. But yes. Sorry guys, I'm doing 20 things at once. In the meantime, as Tristan tries to get that up and going, let's just go right into the national news so that we can prevent any radio silence going on.
Let me see your the phone again.
Let me see your phone again.
Try it one more time.
Let me see. Let me see. So Trump doubles down. So yesterday, Trump was out doing his thoughts and prayers and condolences, and it got a little creepy because Trump really goes crazy when it comes to the people that he doesn't like, and that's concerning to me. What an immature president we have here, and how he's able to continue to be the way that he is. I'm receiving secondhand embarrassment, and I don't like that at all. Carlos, you might just have to call the regular number, 617-272-3387. Anyhow, Elon Musk just became the first person ever worth $600 billion. $600 billion. An immigrant that came here illegally is now the richest person in the entire world, and he pays no taxes on his 600 billion American dollars. That must be nice. In my next life, I'm going to be a nice white man from Africa. Good morning, Carlos.
Good morning. Y'all hear me?
I can hear you. You're looking quite stellar, looking like you're sitting in the news office.
Sort of, something like that. But I don't have you in my earpiece, but I'm not going to sweat it. I can hear you, so I'll just take my earbuds out. We'll just go old school with it.
Okay. It sounds nice and clear. How are you doing, black man?
That's all that counts. You know, I'm battling my demons, but I'm doing okay. You know,
I hear you. I'm battling my
just
demons.
had a birthday last week. And,
oh my God! Did I miss your birthday?
Oh, you celebrating your birthday too?
Yeah.
I suck at life. What day was that?
It'd be like that. It's on the 9th, but it's not a big deal.
Oh my God! It was mad. God, it went by so quick. It's so far gone. The 9th.
It's in the past.
You talked to us on the 9th.
Hopefully they'll give me another one next year. Hopefully I'll get another one.
Carlos,
next year.
you were on the phone with us on the 9th. You didn't tell us it was your.
No, the day. Yeah, Yeah, I think so. Yes, yeah, I think you're right.
Terrible.
What's up, bro? I'm the 11th, so shout out to the Sag team, Sag in the building. You know,
terrible.
There you go.
Was
I have my camera on the
Sagittarius
right orientation?
jovial? Yes,
there
it
you
is.
go, Sagittarius.
An idealist.
But the truth of the matter is, I was kind of in a I think a lot of men go through this, especially black men. But I was kind of in a funk. I have a bad habit of measuring. My life and accomplishments where I think I should be. See, that's why I wanted to say it out loud today, because I know we don't talk about it with others. We just go into our little dark place like, oh, I'm supposed to have a house by now. I'm supposed to have this much in the bank by now. I wish I didn't do this back then. And you get lost in your mind. It can be a really dark place. So I started to slide into that for like a couple of days, but I've because of the tools I've gotten from therapy, I tell myself I only give myself 2 days to really sit in the funk.
Yeah.
Because then you can become nose blind to it. It becomes a way of life, and I can't do that. So after 2 days, I trigger some things like I got to go for a walk. I got to hit the weights. I got to do 200 push-ups. I got to do something to get my mind and body working to shake it off. So
I told my friend the other day, I said, idle time.
I don't mind.
I don't mind.
Yeah. If you let that mind, if you don't focus your mind, it'll do whatever it wants. So you got to be in control of your mind, not let your mind be in control of you. So that's why I didn't make it a big deal that I was on. I had tunnel vision. I was just trying to manage that dark space I was in.
Yeah, I also think it's a Sag thing too, because a lot of my best friends are Sages, and I feel like we're so giving that we kind of on our birthdays we're a little more reserved. We're not really. We don't even tell people it's our birthday.
I was talking to somebody yesterday.
Like, I don't list it on Facebook. I don't want a whole bunch of people who I didn't speak to for 364 days to pop on all of a sudden and be like, "Oh, happy birthday, Los!" Like, nah, I'm good. I'm good. I appreciate the well wishes. But
I don't check my texts. I don't check messages, anything on my birthday. People get mad at me, but I don't know. It's just
I was speaking to somebody about this yesterday, and he said every birthday he doesn't really make it a big deal. And full transparency, he said, because I don't want to be disappointed. I said, oh, that makes very much sense too, because everybody's like, oh, what you doing for your birthday? You plan a birthday. Half of the people show up, half don't come, half didn't really want to be there. So you're like, I could have just had a good time by myself doing the things I like, Yeah.
Right.
So
to that point, but even to Trish's point, like imagine somebody getting frustrated with you on your birthday because you respond the way they wanted you to respond.
Yep.
I'm sick of people. I don't have time for that on my birthday. I take it off. It's just like my holiday away from the world on that day. I mean, Wifey's made, the last couple of birthdays amazing. Before I met her, birthdays were kind of like hit or miss. She makes it a point to celebrate them. And this year, we just kind of played it low key, went out to dinner and things like that. So, it was quiet and reflective.
I love that. And that's how it should be. Just peaceful on your good day. You came into the world screaming, and then somebody swaddled you in a blanket and put you up close to them. That's all you should do is cuddle. I love cuddling.
All right.
Sorry.
All right. Okay.
There was a couple.
I see what's on your Christmas list. I see what you asking Santa for.
For cuddling.
Little swaddling action.
Yes. I wonder if there's adult swaddles. Anyways, a couple of things that we do need to touch on today. I know we're going to get into ballot questions, but 3 things actually. We're going to do Council Mejia pressing for White Stadium budget. Just want to get your thoughts on that. We'll also be talking about the city council presidency, because Councilor Worrell is not dropping his bid for the seat as well. He's outside. Yeah. And then the Suffolk County Jail situation, they had a protest yesterday. We have some abolitionists who want to shut it down and free the jails. And then we have other people that are calling for an investigation, a transparent investigation, probably independently, so that we can find out what's going on. Not sure which one of those you want to start with, because we can segue into the ballot questions, or if any of those ballot questions align, then we can kind of do a little twofer.
Well, let's start with what happened at Suffolk House of Corrections, because I was vocal on that. I did put out a video because I was waiting to see how long it was going to take for one of the elected officials from from the community to speak up, and hopefully with colleagues. And so I know, based on our conversation we had last week, that they were aware of it. We were kind of waiting to see what their action with the community was going to be like. Since then, I know a letter has been written by both State Representative Chris Worrell and District 4 City Councilor Brian Worrell, calling for an independent investigation. I think they hit a lot of the details that you should hit in a letter. If I'm being critiqued, I wish there were more. I guess if I had a wish, I wish there were more of their colleagues signed on to it than just the two of them. And I don't know if that's a collaboration issue or everybody needs to do their own letter. That's just a different tactic. So that's separate than the actual issue of what happened at the jail.
I don't really believe in everybody doing their whole letter. I think that it's a collective. I think that it's a big enough issue that all of them should be on it, because wouldn't everybody from any of their areas could end up at Suffolk County? What kind of annoyed me too is that, like I said last week, I think Erin Murphy puts out a damn letter about everything all the time, every day, all day long. A street lights out, she need to write a letter to the mayor's office to let them know that they're doing such a terrible job. Why you didn't write nothing about this situation yet? Why doesn't it matter?
Councilor Flynn is like that too. Councilor Flynn is all over social media with all kinds of constituent issues, but everybody gets quiet. And there's a couple of different reasons, right?
What?
Nobody wants to go up against law enforcement. This is considered a law enforcement issue.
Okay.
So a lot of people that are friendly with law enforcement, and when I say friendly, means they live in your community. You get a lot of campaign donations from police officers and law enforcement members, which would be that Councilor Ed Flynn's, the Councilor Erin Murphy's. If you looked at their OCPF reports, they get a lot of money from cops. So they might not be as willing to be as vocal. Now, where it comes to members of Roxbury, Dorchester, Mattapan, and those representatives and councilors, they probably see a little bit, but not as much support from law enforcement. But what I'm saying about tactics, and I want to be clear, since we got a little bit of time to talk today about politics, there's unity, right? And I heard a brother breaking this down the other day in a breakfast club. There's unity, and then there's uniformity.
Okay.
Now, if we all signed on to the same letter, that would be nice. That would be ideal, right? We could write one letter, work smart, not hard. And let's be clear, it's not the actual. It's going to be an aide that writes it, prints it out, sends it out to the newspapers, post it online or whatever. I don't care which way it happens. If 12 people that represented Roxbury, Dorchester, Mattapan wrote a letter and released it on the same day, or they all signed onto the same letter, it would have the same effect. The effect that you want is having multiple leaders moving in the same direction. And I think that's what's missing. To only have 2 out of however many, whether you represent a geographical area or a racial or ethnic demographic that you feel is subjected. That's the part where I feel like it's missing. There should be more state reps. There should be more state senators, and there should be more city councilors that are signed on to that letter or have released their own letter in the meantime. So, it leaves it open to the abolitionists. I don't know how I feel about abolishing jails. I get it in theory. I don't get it in practice, though.
Did you
Triz, you an abolitionist or no?
No, not at all. Not at all. We do need some correction. We do need some people. Some people need to be incarcerated. They need to be in jail.
Man, the type of stories that we be hearing of people just released from jail and go out on a wild goose chase, hitting people with trucks and stabbing people in the eyes, all kind of stuff. It'd be crazy over here.
Yeah, and so ideologically, I get the abolition, and, but for abolition of the jails to happen means there's a lot more in the system that needs to be abolished, right?
Yep.
Before you can abolish jails, you probably need to abolish poverty, right? Because poor, hungry people gonna steal some food, or they're gonna steal something of value to get some money to get some food. So there's other things that you'd have to abolish before you abolish the jails. And I don't, but that's ideological.
Yeah, more than anything, I think there needs to be reform in the jails immediately.
Yes.
That was another part I was going to say. You mentioned correction, and there's time for self-reflection and self-correction. And I'm not going to knock. I don't want to knock 100% of programming that goes on behind the wall, but I will knock, let's say, 90% of it. And I'm talking about any correctional facility. Most of the programs
What do you mean when you say programs? What does a program look like?
They offer anger management, and they offer drug rehabilitation programs, and there's mental health programs in there, right? But there's a level of cultural competency that the people offering those programs, are they certified? Do they really get to the root issue of what led that person to be there to begin with? If you grew up being a child that was abused for 15 years of your life, and you develop anger and violence, and you get arrested for assault, and you get confined for a year or so, is that anger management class going to change you? Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't.
Not.
I think.
Yeah.
So that's it could, but we could have more people doing more mental health work, more accredited people, not just COs or not just people that are contracted there for a check. It can be done better.
Yes. It can be done
not
better.
A lot of correction
I also just don't understand why the jails have to be that crazy in general. Like we constantly hear things from not only Suffolk, but many other jails.
The jails aren't. It's the people.
The correctional officers per se. No, but the jails be nasty too. They be like unsanitary living facilities and things as such.
No, that's not true. I remember I've been incarcerated.
I've been incarcerated. I know.
I can tell you. I didn't. I've been incarcerated in 2 prisons, and neither of them were nasty or crazy. I was in I forgot what the other name was. I was in one in Rhode Island, I think, and I think.
Why are you such a criminal?
They got me because I was black and I was smoking weed.
Oh, weed while black. It's a thing.
Basically.
It's a thing.
I'm trying not to laugh. I'm just laughing at the order you put them in. First it was black, and then it was the weed. It wasn't the weed, and then I got you.
And I was very young back then.
So, and this is my thing about jail. Unfortunately, I've also been incarcerated for a short period of time in a county jail. Jails, the facility is not a natural place for a human being to be.
Not at all.
Okay, yeah. In general.
There's nothing healthy can be gotten by taking a human being that was free and putting them in a small concrete box with another person.
It's like putting what do you call it?
It's like you caging an animal.
A killer whale. It's like putting like a killer whale in a
little aquarium. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, they're gonna perform for a while, but sooner or later they're gonna take somebody under with them.
Yeah, because I imagine that depression, loneliness, isolation, and things like that start to set in after a little bit. The unfamiliarity of where you are, all the damn people that you got to share your life with, and the fact that you would like to be home.
The power dynamic that the COs have over you.
And what's
the power
that
dynamic
like?
that the pod boss might have over you. The power dynamic of physical violence over you.
It all depends on the type of people you get. If you get people that are good people, it's not an issue. But if you have assholes, it's gonna be assholes.
And is that because is the assholes due to conditioning of the environments of the other people, or I come in here feeling like because I got a vest and a helmet on or whatever that I can just treat people the way that I want to because I don't feel like they need to be humanized because they're in jail? Is that it can be a little bit?
My belief that COs are no different than the rest of us, and that there's certain segments of population that we dehumanize in our mind. Whether it's a homeless person, whether it's a drug addict, or whether it's somebody that's locked behind a wall, they're forgotten about. You really don't. We talk prison reform, but day to day, that's not on our mind. We don't really care about, unless you have a loved one behind the wall or you behind the wall yourself, you really don't give a damn about what's happening with all those inmates.
Yeah.
You really don't care. I mean, it becomes a joke, don't drop the soap. Like, you don't really care about
what's happening,
prison violence and rape and things of that nature. These are just things we say to make ourselves feel good. So when the COs feel that, and they feel it even more because they see it. Like, ain't nobody sending mail to this person. Ain't nobody sending any money to this person. Nobody's checking on this person. You disappear from society.
Those things actually matter then. not that I didn't think they mattered, but you never really put those in perspective. If I am seeing you have all this support and people coming to visit you and people writing you all the time, I might not be inclined to bother you so much because I know that people looking out. If I don't see you having no visitors, you always in isolation, you're almost like low-hanging fruit for whatever comes. Yeah, so that's very
Predators
interesting.
The predator could be the inmate next to you. It could be the CEO. It's the CEO. It could be anybody.
Yeah. Oh, wow. It's so interesting when you start to get a deep dive into certain situations and start to actually think about it. You know, you go through life, you were like, oh, I know what that is, but you never like sat and thought about what it is, so very interesting. Yeah. So that happened Monday. They said there was about 40-person turnout for the protest, and
and shout out to them.
It was dangerous yesterday. Yeah,
felt like I think it felt like 2 when I looked at it.
When I looked at it last morning, it said -1, and CK was like,
-1.
Mommy, what's the degrees? And I said -1. He said, -1. Okay. I was like, do you know what that means? Like, he was just like, nope. But I was like, if you don't wear a coat, you'll die today. So he put a coat and a hat on. Sometimes you got to use a little dramatic tactic. You'll die.
Right.
It's over.
So let's say, and just to be clear with people that are listening and to be honest about the whole situation. So that protest was organized by the Mass Bail Fund, right?
Yeah.
That was not organized by any elected officials. And the Mass Bail Fund, when you refer to the abolitionists, I assume that's what you're talking to, groups that want to get rid of the jails, shut down the prison.
Shut it down.
So they have their own tact, and I get it. And shout out to them for organizing it is dope, grassroots, responding to the need, and getting some real citizens out there in that weather. Mm-hmm. Now, what I would like to see, and if I was a sitting state rep or a sitting elected official, you still have to create other pathways for those that might not be abolitionists, but might support the call for an independent investigation, right? So instead of letting the DA, instead of letting BPD and the sheriff's office, which are basically day-to-day business partners in the circle of law enforcement and criminality, right? Mm-hmm. Having a law firm or with the private investigators, that fund needs to be coming from someone else besides one of those bodies, so they're not answering to them through money either. Where I would like to see a petition. I would have started a neighborhood petition to call for that. Not only would I wanted my colleagues to sign on to that letter and show up with me, I would want my community to sign on, because not everybody can make it down there and stand out, right? And that might not be indicative that they don't care. They just don't have the time to be there on a Monday at 3:30 with work, children, families, etc., or that cold. So where's the online petition? Where is the building the support, the grassroots in the neighborhood? The same way Mass Bail Fund could do it, throw together a flyer and a bit.ly and a petition. Elected officials can do the same thing. And I still see that lack of leadership. It's glaring.
And
but I do hope that
Larry said
because
he said, so it don't matter because this elected official wasn't there. I don't think that's what he's saying. I think that when elected officials are involved, it gets a little bit more it applies a little bit more pressure than just an organization that's out there. Like, yes, an organization is out there, it caught the news, and they are protesting, versus state officials or city officials put something together and are able to actually press the court for information in real time, in real life. So I'm not sure if that answered half those elected officials are frauds. That's why they weren't contacted. And that could be,
what I'm advocating for is a both. It's not an either or. It's a both, right? It's in tandem. Like there's power in numbers.
Yeah, exactly.
So elected officials are more powerful when their citizens walk with them, and citizens are more powerful when their elected officials walk with them. When they have
elected official backing, yeah, because now you have different levels. You take it one here, you can get to the next level. They can call in their peoples and keep on investigating. I like the approach of all of it. We literally are stronger together. But everybody want to be the puppet master, and nobody want to be the circus animals. I don't know if I said that right, but whatever. And so that's that. Then we have the city council presidency. We started seeing that with Julia Mejia, and with Zapata pretty much the day after before the official count came in. She was posting that she received enough votes for the city council presidency seat, which wasn't due until the 5th of January. So I'm not really sure what Brian Worrell has came out and said that he's still in the running and he still wanted the seat. So how does that work? Like, what are we doing here? We have Julia, Brian, and Gabriella.
I like where the conversation is headed, right? Mm-hmm. I wasn't a big, and this is, I'm going to spend a little bit of time because there's some nuance here, right? I like Councilor Julia Mejia.
Yeah.
Personally, I don't always like the things she does and
Tactics.
says.
Yeah. I agree.
That aside, but that's true of every elected official. I'm never going to like everything that they like or say. But I can wake up and easily knowing that I haven't really seen Councilor Mejia ever take a position that's been bad for the communities and the families that I love. Mm-hmm. I've never seen her do it. So I find peace in that, right? So she gets this conversation started. I wasn't a big fan of how she got it started, but she got the ball rolling. Now the conversation is going. Councilor Gabrielle Zapata made the claim that she had enough votes. And that's cool. That's how it's always been. Same thing on a regular election.
So early, though? Is that natural for it to be that early? Like the day of the election, like the day after we voted?
Yeah, usually it doesn't come that early, but usually you secure the votes before election day. Just like in a good campaign, you usually know how many votes you have before all the votes are counted. You have an idea. Now, maybe she jumped the gun, but regardless of whether you think you have the votes, you don't have the votes until they're voted and counted. Mm-hmm. So until, like Councilor Worrell says, until they have their first meeting and the votes are in, it's not her seat.
It don't. Yeah. That's how I feel about it.
Someone can change their mind.
Because that way that he can be like, oh, I spoke to 6 other people too, and they said that they was going to vote for me too. I don't got to tell you which ones, and now we all trying to figure out who is who. Because I'm going to go, I don't know.
They could change their mind at any moment and be like, nah, I'm with Councilor Worrell now.
How do they decide? How do they decide who they're going to pick? Like, because she don't know what she could do yet unless she gets the presidency. So how am I okay with just being like, okay, Tristan, if you get in, then I'm gonna vote for you. What if?
Right.
How to decide that?
Shout out to Chip Greenwich and the couples have started to write some op-eds to really explain this to people, and I'm glad the conversation is going on. So the first job of the city council president, or one of the jobs, the most visible parts of the city council president, is they become acting mayor whenever the mayor is away for a certain number of days.
I think that's very important too when we decide it.
Without even leaving, and I don't mean leaving the job. I mean if Councilor Wu goes to France for 7 days, or to Nova Scotia for 7 days, sends a letter. Mm-hmm. She sends a letter to the city council and says, "I'll be away for 7 days." And in that, whatever the certain amount of days, I think after the 3rd day, that the city council president becomes the acting mayor until the mayor returns. Now, if she were to leave her job, death, dishonor, defeat, any mayor, like we saw with Mayor Menino, is how he became acting mayor. With Mayor Janey, that's how she became acting mayor, as that they were city council president. So think of them as the vice president. If the mayor leaves, this person ascends to the mayor. The second thing they do is they assign. They're the chairman of the board, basically. They're the chairman of that council. So I get to assign you committees. So let's say I want you and Triz are city councilors, and I want the 2 of your votes. Well, I might assign one of you to the chair of transportation because I know you hate bike lanes, even though you had the Boston Bicycle Union, shout out to them, on last week.
Hey, those are my friends.
Previous to their visit, you might not have been big on bike lanes, and you might want to make bike lanes your thing. Yeah. So you want the transportation chair. That way you can rule in on all the conversations around transportation in the city.
That's the one that I would take. Parking. Even though I'm now a friend of bike lanes, I would have taken that one.
Did you hear Triz, though? You heard Triz go, He gets excited already. Just the idea of it. So I would tell Triz, Triz, if you vote for me president, I'll make sure that you're the chair of this committee.
Oh.
Now, not only are you the chair of that committee, but now all the transportation people that sell transportation cones and cameras and things like that might start donating to you because they want to dominate the conversation. You know what I mean? If you're the chair of education, you can dominate the charter versus public school conversation, and you might get donations from the charter school supporters to be pro-charter, and you might get money from the.
The more I hear, the more I learn about politics. Boy, I tell you.
See what I'm saying?
It's such a and when what he said, and then the counter of when people be like, "Oh, I'm not into politics." Bro, do you understand how very much into politics you are without even being into it? Like your likeness is being shared around and like, oh, I can get hot sauce on your team. Really? I didn't say so. That's crazy.
So I'll take you deeper into that's just the city level. I'm gonna take you a quick aside. At the state level, the same thing happens, right? There's more committees. So there's a state rep I came into the House with named Mark Cusack. He is the Democratic chairman of the Energy Committee at the state level, in the state House. They want to have conversations about whether they can regulate rates. You know, you see your energy bill going up every month, how much they can charge for delivery. So just by being chairperson, he gets lobbied by advocates of people that want to regulate it, but he gets even more money from the energy company. They just dumped $12,000 into his campaign account and the campaign account of the Speaker of the House and many other people in leadership to decide whether this conversation and this bill can come out of committee and get voted on the floor, or whether it dies in that committee and never comes to the light of day to get a vote. That is the machine that's happening every single day through money and lobbying.
And then when you take it to a bigger level, when you think about what's going on in the presidential administration, now you understand why these people act that way, because it literally is beneficial to them personally. You give me money because you don't want gun control. The NRA is going to put $60 million in your account. Of course, I'm not saying nothing about gun control.
There you go. And that comes back to the residential homeowner stuff we were talking about with State Senator Nick Collins and the mayor's bill. You know, every group has what's called a lobby. I don't want people to think that's a bad word. A lobby is just a group of people who are putting pressure on somebody.
I don't like it.
It can be your kid. Your kid's got a lobby. Your kid's got a lobby for bedtime. You got more than one kid, they lobbying you like, I want to stay up later. I want to go to McDonald's. There's a lobby. They're on you over and over. They're emailing you. They're asking you.
Sound like a con man. Sound like a con man.
Well, that's not necessarily. It's just pressure, right? If you want something, you go for it. If the community, that's why I said the community part is important, because the community should be its own lobby. Now, we always say, well, we don't have no money. Now, we got money. We just spend it on different things. If 50,000 people spend $1, you got $50,000. That's a big amount of money from everybody just putting in $1.
Yeah.
Right? So we just don't lobby. We haven't gotten involved because we believe that it doesn't affect us. But if 50,000 residents of Roxbury, never mind the 50,000 residents in Dorchester or the 50,000 residents in Mattapan that have shared interests, if they would put $1 up and make a phone call and make an email, they would have a powerful lobby on all the issues they claim they care about. But sometimes it's easier for us to check out and deal with all the other life stresses and think that this doesn't affect us when it does.
Wow.
So that's why I'm always saying, where's the leadership that's engaging more residents and pulling them back into the fray?
And
that's
that's
how the
such
presidency works, and that's open.
That's such an easy task too. There's so many places that would give, city officials room to educate so that more people, I feel like if it was me, if I was on the city council, that's what I would do at least once a month. This how you vote. This how you vote for me. Whatever it is, we need you out here next Tuesday at 7:00. I need y'all all out here right now.
But this is why white people get involved in politics, boy. I tell you, why didn't my parents tell me, boy, when you grow up, be a politician.
Politician.
You're gonna be rich.
You gonna be rich.
You're gonna sell out your people eventually. You're gonna sell out and you're gonna sell your soul, but you're gonna be rich.
One of the other go ahead.
If it's like raising an army.
Mm-hmm.
You can't really sell out a dedicated army, right? If you're the general of an army of 50,000 people, you can try to play them if you want at your own risk. Because if you had an educated, mobilized army, they'll just out you. They'll just oust you as soon as you go off the rails.
Yep.
So for me, if I'm leading an army, I'd rather have an army of 1,000 than an army of 20.
And that's why we don't know.
And as long as I'm but not everybody wants an army of 1,000 because you have to be a better general to run 1,000 people than to lead 20 people. It's easier to lead 20 people than to lead 1,000. But that's to our own detriment. And both sides have responsibility in that because it shouldn't even be optional. It shouldn't even be optional.
I agree with, and then if I take it again to the other whatever, Donald Trump said he loves the uneducated. And I'm not saying, like that type of uneducated, but if you're not educated in politics and how it works, like you just now said, I don't need a whole army of educated people. I need a couple. And then the rest of them will follow suit because they don't care to know anyway, so I can say whatever I want to them. That's so interesting. I'm about to get into politics. Christopher!
MLK has the right. Everybody talks about MLK, and next month it'll be all over the place. MLK Jr. always spoke about good people staying quiet in times of trouble, right? It was like the white moderates not doing their job and making sure that there's racial justice. But it's not just the white moderates. Sometimes it's us. Sometimes we got to look in the mirror because we stand silent when this is going on. We bear responsibility to it. It's not just leadership. If you saw something wrong happening and decided I'm not getting involved and you gave yourself a bunch of reasons why not to, my vote doesn't count. Nothing's ever going to change.
Unfortunately, I was saying this is a problem for our people. Our people are always putting themselves in that predicament where they don't want to be involved. They just want to be naive and ignorant. And this is where we always find other people, the white people, the Latinos, the Asians, they'll come out in droves to come for our defense where our people are just not there. And this is the problem, is to get everybody activated, get everybody unionized.
Unionized!
Human nature is difficult to tame, to lead. But again, we need unity and not uniformity, right? We just need everybody. We might all be educated and not agree, but we need leaders that are okay with that. We need leaders that are okay with arguing and fighting about certain things. So to swing into a quick pivot point, one of the things that's coming up on the ballot is same-day voter registration.
Oh, with the IDs and things?
Well, the studies show that this would have a benefit to impoverished communities, Black and brown communities, because we need the most engagement according to us and according to studies, right? So it removes the hurdle of having to get you to register 21 days in advance before a primary that happens in September. I heard that question earlier.
Oh, are they doing
always in September?
Okay, yes, it was September 1st to be exact. We know now.
Yeah, it's usually the first Tuesday. It's usually the first Tuesday in September.
Sometimes,
and then the finals are first Tuesdays in November.
I feel like sometimes they have election days near my birthday, which is later into September. What are those ones?
They move them based on Labor Day and any holidays that it might conflict with. They might move it around every now and then, so you can see it move a week or so. But it's usually the first couple of weeks in September. I have seen it be the third week of September sometimes, but they try to keep it as early in September as possible. So. The same-day voter registration is basically says, I have a summary, but I don't want to bore y'all to death, right? Let's list the basics. You have to be 18 years old to vote.
Yes.
18-year-olds can sign a contract. They can get a credit card. They can go into the military, get trained with a gun, and kill people overseas. Or maybe even in the United States now, based on how the new commander-in-chief is rolling. So this would allow you, instead of having to register 21 days in advance at your registry or at a registration table, you should be able to walk into your ballot place. At 18, we're assuming that you have some form of government ID, or maybe a utility bill, or maybe a school ID, right? So they have valid photo could be documentation showing the individual's name, address where the individual resides, a current utility bill, bank statement, government check, residential lease, wireless telephone statement, paycheck, current student fee statement, or other document from a post-secondary school. If you could show one of those and then basically sign an affidavit saying, I am who I say I am, under penalties of perjury and jail, you sign it and you go vote.
How do you feel about this? Offhand, first initial thought.
I'm fine with it, because that's what your voter fraud is not as rampant as they try to make it seem. And if you're caught doing voter fraud, which very few people do, then you should be punished for it. But it's not like, listen, if we were committing voter fraud, we wouldn't be having arguments about being represented in leadership. There'd be more of us, right? Because at least in cities like Boston, we have a pretty good voting bloc that just doesn't come out to vote. We have voting age population that doesn't vote. So I'm fine with people being able to have more access to the polls. I don't understand why we would create another barrier. This is something I advocated for and was on board with a long time ago.
I also don't know why you got to register 21 days in advance. You know, like a lot of people do things very, very last minute. I could wake up the day before and be like, damn it, I forgot to register to vote. And now I can't vote because I didn't do it 21 days ago. That's a long time.
And the crazy thing is that threshold is even lower, because you think about the registration form you fill out 21 days in advance. No one asks you for an ID.
They sure don't.
They just take your signature, and maybe the first time when you go to the polling location, they might match the signature and see if your signature matches. But that's it. They're not pulling it up and checking a photo in the database and go, okay, yeah, this person is this person and this person lives there. So this is actually kind of the best of both worlds for a bipartisan bill, where you might get some photo ID and a signed affidavit, and more people are voting.
And
so that's one of the things that'll be on the ballot.
Voter fraud is basically fraud, because it's zero. The amount of voter fraud in America is 0.0003%.
This is what Donald Trump is upset about. That 0.3%.
Well, the people that commit voter fraud are campaigns and big operations, right? It's not you or me going in and voting for Miss Jenkins that passed away 5 years ago to add one more vote to put our favorite counselor over the top. It's somebody that controls ballot machines,
right.
And they have a whole list of people, and they dropped 1,000. You know, they went to the cemetery and wrote all 1,000 dead people in the cemetery and put those. That's
what we're afraid of. That's
RICO. They should be, they bring them up on RICO charges. They're racketeering basically at that point. So that's that. The other ballot question that popped up is that's really got my attention is the eliminating the political primaries.
Why would they do? What would be that reason?
So, whether you're voting, think about Bernie Sanders, think about the Green Party candidates, or even in a Democratic primary, when you walk into the polling location, this is not for the city elections, right? City elections are nonpartisan. It doesn't matter. They don't give you their party list, and they don't tell you if they're Democrat or Republican. In the state elections, 2026, your state reps, your state senators, your state treasurers, all your state offices will be on the ballot. And if you're a Democrat, when you walk into your polling location, they'll ask you, Democrat or Republican? Most likely you'll say Democrat, because that's what your parents are. That's what you've been for your whole life. And they give you a Democratic ballot. And so just to play hypotheticals, let's say you live in the 1st Suffolk Senate District of Boston, which means you live in Chinatown, South Boston, Dorchester, and a little bit of Mattapan, and you go into the ballot to vote for your state senator. Right now, you would, Hot Sauce is primarying her state rep, so you would see Hot Sauce versus Representative Worrell, and you could only vote for one of those two Democrats. If there's a Republican, if Althea Garrison was on the ballot, but she's running as a Republican, you wouldn't be able to choose her, even if she was your favorite. You'd be locked into either Rep Worrell or Hot Sauce.
Mm-hmm.
This would get rid of that and put
Althea,
Rep Worrell, Hot Sauce, and Althea on the same ballot, and the top two move forward. So now you have more choice as a voter, and the competition is stiffer. I like it. Same thing for Nick Collins. You might get primaried by a Republican and a Democrat. For me, it's more democracy. It gives voters more choice, which gives them more power.
So interesting. Martin Luther King Jr. already talked about those white moderates. I know this is 3 minutes. It's okay. You're a little delayed, but we're still here. We hear you. One more.
I don't got no comments. Y'all gotta fill me in on the comments. I don't get to see any comments.
I forgot to send you the link, Los. Next time we're gonna do that.
One more thing is cannabis has approved for cannabis consumption sites or whatever. However, we're still battling whether we're gonna keep it legalized or not. Like, how are we moving forward and moving backwards at the same time?
the law doesn't change. The law doesn't change till someone votes and signs that bad boy. So, yes, the government right now it's decriminalized. Even at the federal level, looks like it's about to be level 3 instead of level 1, which is nice because comparing marijuana to heroin, I think is pretty effed up. So, now you can enjoy. Hopefully, you can enjoy lounges where you can go. Just like there's a cigar lounge, you'll be able to find a marijuana consumption lounge. I like it. And I'm sure there'll be all kinds of restrictions in terms of they have to have a certain ventilation.
They gotta have a ride share.
All kinds of research. You know what I mean? It's actually not. There's not too many restrictions.
It's not too crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not a terrible thing. So, but that'll happen until that the ballot question comes out and people either vote for. I don't see that one losing. I don't see people repealing marijuana.
There's way too many businesses out here making money off of weed
absolutely.
Right now.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Right. Okay. Now, the one thing we didn't touch on yet was you asked about White Stadium. And Councilor Mejia is pressed to have that budget stay open, right? Pretty much that deal is done in terms of the mayor's already signed this agreement. She has contracts with this private soccer team, right?
And they've already demolished the whole thing, so somebody got to do something with it at this point.
Steps are moving. People have been paid. The people that put the fence up have been paid. The people that knocked down the rubble and cleared the rubble out have been paid. So that project is moving. But that's not to say, Councilor Mejia, to keep an eye on the budget for those that are building houses, buildings, schools, stadiums. That budget is not a set budget. Now you could say, right, today it costs $50 million. I think you said it earlier. Today's price is, yesterday's price is not today's price. Lumber and gas cost $10 today, could be $12 tomorrow.
Tariffs.
But you're locked into a contract to build this thing. So if the city taxpayers are in for $100 million now, and in 6 months or 8 months or 9 months, when this thing is not even close to complete, still going on, that could balloon up to double. And the taxpayers, the mayor already signed a contract on your behalf to spend your money. So at least having Councilor Mejia or somebody watching what that dollar amount is, like the churches used to have that thermometer back in the day, and they show you.
Yep, how close we get to the roof.
You gotta have somebody watching, right? Or a city councilor that's the chair of Ways and Means. That they look at the budget, and that person could be responsible for that. So there should be a watchful eye on that. But again, here's one of those things: $100 million to build White Stadium. Nobody, and this is just me stirring the pot. Nobody had a problem when it was just sitting there rotting. When the weeds were taking over and the zombies were, it looked like World War Z. It was fine.
Yep.
That's what I see.
When the kids weren't using it at all, it was fine. But now that it's being redeveloped, people are like, oh, what's the kids' access to it? It's a fair question, but it's kind of weird timing. So if you're concerned about that $100 million, we should be concerned about how much money the city is paying to police wrongful police actions.
Okay. All right.
Because that number is quickly exceeding what White Stadium will cost, and that happens time and time and time again, and it just gets swept under the rug. Like there's, I know people are emotional and don't like. Some people don't like the mayor, and some people run against the mayor and say bad things about it. Not everything is attributable to the mayor's wrongdoing, right? And so we have to be responsible when we look at tax breaks or tax cuts or how much money can be raised from traffic enforcement. I got into an argument about traffic enforcement. You can increase something one spot and it could decrease something somewhere else.
Yesterday, I was driving the other day and I was like, we can make all the money we need from the city from people triple parking. Like if you're triple parking, you deserve a fine of $200,000 because why are you 4 lanes deep into Blue Hill Ave at 5 o'clock because you feel the need that you are so important. You got to run into Sun's Pizza for a slice of pizza and triple park. It's got to stop. It's got to stop.
So human nature. That's what I said. Human nature is wild, trying to govern it, right? And I understand that sentiment. I feel that I curse out the double parkers outside Franklin Park and et cetera as well. I understand it. But here's what the government side is responsible for. So to ticket them means I have to have, and this is where it's split, there's management and then there's policy. I have to have traffic enforcement, right? Whether it's BTD or BPD, right? The transportation department or police department. For parking violation, I can use BTD. For moving violation, I have to use BPD. This is contract rules right now. I can't use a camera. I have to use a live police officer. It costs the city, it costs you, the taxpayer, to have BPD or BTD write that ticket, right? That's a salary. That person gets paid every week. They got benefits. They're going to get a retiree's pension if they spend 10, 20, or 30 years in the city. So there's a cost that comes with that. Now, I'm not arguing pro or con. I'm just saying there's a responsibility to actually weigh what that means. And then some of it is supervising, right? Are police officers in BTD in the right space? If I'm the city councilor for that area, I'm asking, I need a police officer or BTD parked outside of stashes, even though boycott should still be going on. That's neither here nor there. Parked out there during these hours, because this is when the most offenses are. This is when traffic is the most egregious. And I put that lobby. If I'm the resident, I tell my counselor to demand it. And if I'm the counselor, I tell the city to demand it. I demand it of the city. I don't see that happening. I see us getting mad and then not going to the city councilor to demand it, and then the city councilor not going to the
thing to
mayor
demand
to demand it.
All right. So what you're trying to say is I need to contact Brian Worrell and tell him I demand that you do something about the triple parking.
And Councilor Reverend Culpepper. Their districts touch right there.
Yep, 7 and 5.
And
4.
7 and 4.
Yep.
7 and 4. And 4 at-large councilors that also represent that area.
Okay, all right.
So let's go back to the lobby. Most people that live in Roxbury, Dorchester, Mattapan drive through Blue Hill Avenue.
Yes.
Shit. Most people from Sharon and all the cities outside
Milton
of it use it as a cut through, right? So let's say we had 150,000 residents call their 4 at-large councilors and those 2 district councilors to say, yo, I want BTD out there in the morning when I'm taking my kids to school, in the afternoon during lunch when people are going to lunchtime, and in the evening when I'm trying to get home and get my kids from daycare. The councilors would do it. And if the councilors went to the mayor and said, yo, I got 150,000 people called my office this week and sent the email, you better have someone out there, I'm going to turn them loose on you. The mayor would do it. And then double parking enforcement would be out there and you would change the behavior of the people.
The theme that I constantly hear from you is that, yes, these counselors and these state reps and these leaders are in the lead and they are in charge and they're the spokesperson. But if we, as a constituent and as a community, do not hold them accountable and start holding them to the fire and calling them, at least send a little email 311 or something, ain't nothing going to change because they don't have to do no work nobody's demanding them to.
Also, and we need to get involved.
Yes, basically. So we all need to get involved. Like, we can't keep complaining and talking shit about it. We got to actually start making these calls and saying, hey, me and 10 others are now about to call your office because we demand no triple parking. Okay.
So when we say politics doesn't really affect nothing, it does. You could change parking enforcement on Blue Hill Avenue on all your main thoroughfares just by having a lobby day. Just by having a day where everybody calls the city council office. It can be organized on Facebook. You don't even got to leave the house to get it popping.
Hey, here's the phone number, and this is what you say when you call it.
This is what time we're calling. We're calling all day. There's only 5 people that work in that office at most. You blow up their phones, they're gonna be like, they can't turn it off. They can't go on Do Not Disturb.
Do nothing. Help me. Stop the triple parking.
when I was a state rep representing Roxbury and Dorchester, there was a day we got 8,000 emails from farmers in Western Massachusetts. It shut down the server at the State House. You think I give a damn about a farm in Western Massachusetts when I represent Dorchester? But I knew about it because 8,000 emails came in. I'm in my inbox like delete. Oh my God, delete. But if it had come from my neighborhood, I would have had to be like, yo, let me go find out about these damn cows.
Yeah. This is so politics is so interesting. Every Tuesday I get it's interesting and depressing at the same time. Like, you want to know all the things, but then when you start hearing about how not necessarily easy it is, but how communicative you have to be in order to really kind of do greatness for your neighborhood and your community, you really, really do got to get involved at least at the most basic constituent level, where it's like, hey, 311, pick up a phone. You know, I love a 311, and I'll praise that every day. If I see a dead rat in the middle of the street, 311, please help me. I can't cross the street. There's a rat there. You know, like, make it a thing. It's fun. It's a game.
And then post that you did it, so that you encourage the behavior of your neighbors. When you see your neighbor at the corner store, you see that rat out there? Yeah, I called. Yeah, they came and picked it up. Okay, good. You know what I'm saying?
They picked it up.
We have to reframe. We have to reframe our behavior and help each other encourage positive behavior that changes the way we think about things. Absolutely. Otherwise, we're left out. And so, yeah, you're right, at a very basic level. And there's levels to it. Everybody don't got to be the counselor. Everybody doesn't have to run for office. You don't have to be on a ward committee. Maybe you just lead a tour in the spring and you bring your counselor and your 10 to 10 neighbors. Maybe you have a little, there's a million ways you can do it. But excuses is not going to be one of them.
I like, we're going to end right there. Many ways to do it. Excuses is not one of them. I like that. We're going to leave right there on that, because we have hit our mark. Damn, we've been talking to you for a long time. But it's good. It's good educational conversation.
Miss Tony today.
Yeah, thank you very much. We appreciate you so much for that kindness. She's a little under the weather. No, but this is really, really good. I'm excited about this. Right, as we were talking about 2 hours ago, Mayor Wu released a video statement that Madison Park has been funded for a reconstruction.
Oh, wow.
And I am really excited about that, because that was my only qualm against White Stadium. I'm for the project, so I don't really have any whatever. But I like fairness. So if we're going to do a big facility for sports and stuff, I think we should have an equal state-of-the-art facility for the trades and for technical stuff like Madison, and Madison needs to be made a priority. So I'm glad that conversation is now moving forward with funding behind it somewhere. So yes.
Yeah. Now if they could just keep a principal for more than 8 months at a time, that would be good too.
But yeah, apply for the principal job at Madison. What I gotta do?
Don't do it.
What I gotta do?
Don't do it. Stay right where you at. Stay right where you at.
Fine, I can't do nothing fun.
Have a good day, y'all.
Bye. Thank you, Carlos.
Talk to you soon.
Yes, so that was Carlos Enriquez. It is Super Tuesdays, and we went a little overboard because these are the things that might not be as fun as entertainment and all these other things, but these are the things that actually matter to us as a community here in Boston. There's things that we hear in the news all the time. We always have these questions. The questions lie and stop with you. If you got a problem, make it a problem online. Tag your counselor. Call them, email them, whatever. But every Tuesday, meet us back here so we can get more into what is going on in Boston and our areas. I'm not sure if there's any real... There's stories and stuff all over the place, but, I don't know. Energy bills in the U.S. have increased 13% since Trump took office. Everything has increased. Everything has increased. We are no longer a free world. Nope. Yep. Well, we'll get into these things more tomorrow. Keep it locked right here, Spark FM. More topics, news, and entertainment coming up. You guys stay blessed and stay warm. Bye.